Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk News. I'm your host, Leticia Romero, and we're just a mess over here. What a day. What a freaking day. I don't even know who's on, who's not on, where we are, what's going on. It's just been crazy today. If you've landed here, you've landed on Let's Talk News. It seems like nobody's landed here, and I'm kind of wondering why. Right now, my computer's doing all kinds of crazy things, and so is my internet. So, yeah, it's 8 o'clock, and there's nobody out there. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. And I know that we've got Facebook running and YouTube running and Rumble running. So I'm going to guess that the reason that nobody's there is because everybody's watching what's going on right now with the Minnesota shooter. We're finally getting people with us. Or not the Minnesota shooter, sorry, the Minnesota shooting. And what has happened there is got me livid, absolutely livid. Hello, Francine. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. It's crazy that I'm just checking the lighting. Boy, I look terrible today. Oh my God. It's crazy what is happening with the leftists that have decided that ICE is bad. Protesters are good. Illegal migrants are good. With Maduro, dictators are good. President Trump is bad. And America needs to apologize for being the big dog in the country. So I don't understand. I don't understand it. When did the world go upside down? When? Somebody explain this to me. I don't get it. Hi, Karen. Good to have you. Hi, Andrew Dorman. Good to have you. So for those of you who might not know, because I don't know, I've been glued to the TV basically since this afternoon. For those of you who might, I know what's wrong. I see what's wrong now with my feed. For some reason, my feed is not proper. It's not going out on my YouTube to the right people. Hang on a second. Let me just see if I could change something here. Just give me one moment, please. Oh, I can't do it. Okay. Something happened to my YouTube feed. Okay, well, we'll just leave it alone. Now I can't get out. Okay. Now I know what's going on. I knew that my screen didn't look right. So my YouTube was cut off. We had some computer problems today, which is not unusual for Let's Talk News. So the YouTube feed is not exactly what it should be. And today of all days, it should be a good feed, but we'll handle that later. So anyway, for those of you who don't know, ICE was in Minneapolis, I think it was. And they were doing what they have to do to try to go after criminals, because Minnesota is one of those places that do not cooperate with our ICE agents. They make it difficult, okay, for the ICE agents to arrest criminal illegal migrants. And so because they don't cooperate, because they don't work with them in the courthouses and in the police departments, it forces ICE to have to go into communities to find these illegal criminal migrants. Okay. Now let's just get it clear, right? Let's get it clear what's going on. Because these are sanctuary states, which, by the way, there's no fucking thing as such thing as a sanctuary state. Either you follow the Constitution of the United States or you don't follow the Constitution of the United States. So these sanctuary states basically hide all the illegals from the federal government. Only when Donald Trump is in charge, by the way, Not any other time, but only when Donald Trump is in charge. And so they don't allow the police to cooperate with the feds, and that causes the feds to have to go into the street en masse to find these criminals who are raping, murdering, maiming, killing our American citizens. And they somehow think that this is a fucking game. It's fun and games. And because it was announced that ICE was coming to Minnesota and to Minneapolis, once again, Soros and Singham, got their Democrat socialists and all their other not-for-profit names organized to do a protest. But today's protest was different than most. They were vehicle blockades so that the ICE vehicles couldn't get through and couldn't get on certain streets, because for some reason, the leftists, the woke leftists, I'm going to call them traitors from now on, want these narco terrorists protected, want TDA, I'll try and say the name, Trendewagwa, and others, they want them protected. And I can't understand why. But anyway, so we wound up where ICE got jammed up in this blockade of protesters. And I'm going to show you a clip in a minute. And it's not even going to be a good one because, as I said, my internet, my computer, lots of things are going wrong today, clearly. And might be just because I am so on edge and so angry. But at any rate, they jammed up ICE agents, and they finally caught up one of the people in a car who jammed up the ICE agents. It was a truck. It was a 2-ton truck. And the ICE agents told her to get out of the truck, and she did not. And there was an ICE agent that had on foot gone after another vehicle that kind of went around the blockade. They were trying to play, cat and mouse with ICE. And when the ICE agents tried to open the door, she decides that she's going to run away, and she almost runs over an ICE agent who had his gun drawn, and he shot her and he killed her. And it's terrible. And the second that it happened and I saw it, I said, they're going to martyr this woman because she was just a protester and she wasn't doing anything wrong. But yesterday was January 6th. The day that Ashli Babbitt was killed by being shot through a closed door in the United States Capitol, for protesting, for going there to ask a question and to ask Congress not to certify an election that she believed was hinky. And yesterday, the leftist woke Democrats applauded the Capitol police officer who killed her, but did not acknowledge that she lost her life because she wanted to express her free opinion. So why is Ashli Babbitt a criminal? And this woman, who we still, by the way, don't know who she is, because I'm sure that when it comes out who she is, it's going to be something not great. When I say something not great, she's going to somehow be connected to some organization that is going to wind up being a leftist, anti-American organization. I'm sure of it. I'm just sure of it. But anyway, this woman is being martyred and we don't even know who she is. And she almost ran over an ICE agent with her truck. And Ashli Babbitt, who did nothing except for enter the Capitol when the Capitol police told her to enter the Capitol, she's a criminal. And the police who shot her is a hero because he was saving democracy. Okay, best I can. I'm sorry that I'm a mess today, but here's the video. I'm showing you a small clip, and then I'm slowing it down so that you could see exactly what happened. Tell me if you get it.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God!
So you tell me, was that okay? Was it okay that the officer shot her? Is it okay that two protesters lost their lives during a protest, but one is made a martyr and the other one is made a criminal? One officer is made a hero and the other one is made a murderer? You tell me. You saw the video. What do you think? You know, you are clueless, John Cooper. AOC roasting RFK in Congress? I doubt it, because AOC, the only thing she could roast is marshmallows. And quite frankly, clueless and incompetent, that you hold the moniker for that. So I'm going to say, if anybody knows what clueless and incompetent is, it's you. Unbelievable. So tell me, did they both get their due? Are you prepared to pick one over the other and hold them up in glory? Or are you prepared to say that they both should be treated the same? Because I have to tell you, I'm crazed. I don't think that Ashli Babbitt, I don't think anybody should have been in the Capitol, frankly. As many of you know, I was there. As many of you know, I could have gone in. As many of you know, I'm smart enough not to go in. I thought it was wrong. I thought that I don't know what was going on the other side of the Capitol. On the side that I was in, it was very peaceful. It was very kumbaya. But when the cops were waving everybody in, I just knew something was wrong there. I just knew it. It didn't feel right. You have thousands of people and only a few, police officers. Why would they be, asking you to come in unless they wanted to use it for some reason? And so I stood out. And I don't think that it was smart. I stood out because it was dangerous, in my opinion. You don't know what's going to go wrong. I knew that the people in the crowd didn't have any weapons, but I also knew that the cops inside did. And why would they let you in? Why would they ask you to come in? I know Congress and I know government well enough that if they wanted to pick somebody to speak on behalf of the crowd, they would have done that. They would have organized that. Some of our Congress members who were Republicans would have come out and said, listen, okay, I'm going to have you and you speak. Everybody else, just stand down. Well, you can hear it from here or whatever. They would have arranged it that way. But the fact that the cops, the Capitol Police, asked the people to come in, that was suspicious to me. And so I and the people that I was with did not go in. Ashli Babbitt did. She took her life in her hands. She lost her life because of it. This woman in the car, do I think that her intention was to run over that ICE officer? No, I don't. I think she panicked. I think she thought she was cute. I think she thought she was protected. I think she thought that she was justified in what she was doing because she was protecting these fucking narco terrorists, these criminal rapists, these murderers that Maduro led into our country, and that these idiot leftists are protecting. I think she thought she was on the side of the angels. Well, she's going to find out, right? It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But what's even worse is the fallout and what's going on now. Who let the cow out? Yes, it was justified. Yeah. I think that whenever you confront law enforcement, you're going to risk something going wrong. But I'm not saying don't do it. I've done it. I've been part of many protests because I believe in the right to free speech. But I know every time I go out there that you're taking your life in your hands. Anything can go wrong at any time. And it doesn't mean that you had an intention to do something wrong. Somebody else could do something wrong, and then you get caught in the middle of it. Renee Nicole Good, 37, identified as driver killed in confrontations. Actions have consequences, not sorry. Yeah, but what did Renee Nicole Good, who did she belong to? Let's see. Yeah, as of the time that I was cutting this, we didn't have that information. Wow, I am just shocked at how YouTube has slowed and Facebook has slowed down our ability to live stream. I just don't know what's going on here. It's like nobody here tonight. This is crazy, but we're going to go on because we have a lot of things to say that's important. Okay, so Tim Walz, after the shooting, he came and he made some comments, and I want to take these comments one at a time. So let's watch.
To protect Minnesotans from whatever it is, if it's an act of nature, if it's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time, and I want to be very careful. It's unprecedented that we have the federal government's already determined exactly what's happened here and the motives of an individual that we don't even know the name. They don't know the name.
Okay. Did you hear it? I know I heard it. He said rogue federal agent. So, but yet he's lambasting Homeland Security and the Trump administration for protecting ICE and for standing behind ICE, and coming right to ICE's defense right away. So it's okay for Tim Walz to put the words out, rogue federal agent, but it's not okay for Trump and Kristi Noem to protect the federal agents. How does that make sense? It's hypocrisy again. It's crazy. Hello, Ramon. Good to have you. So it's okay when this is the double standard, and you're seeing it all over the news media. Watch CNN. You'll want to just break your TV. It's crazy. It's crazy what's happening right now. Let's see what else he has to say.
I understand the uniqueness of this moment in this week, following this week, seeing what's happening in the backdrop of a show hearing in D.C. My job is to govern, and my job is to see what the facts are. This happened a couple of hours ago, and we're already pitting American against American. All of you saw a video in your eyes. We have a chaotic situation caused by the largest deployment in American history of federal agents into a community with no communication to locals. We had a chaotic situation where an individual is in their car, shot and killed. And so, look, I want to be very cautious here because Donald Trump will make this about me.
Okay. Again, chaotic situation because of the largest deployment of agents ever. And Donald Trump is pitting American against American. No, dear, you are. You, Tim Walz, are pitting American against American because the dead Americans at the hands of these criminal migrants are really pissed. Their families are really pissed. And those of us that give a shit about Americans and our country are really pissed. So you are pitting Americans against Americans because you could easily work with the Trump administration and make sure that the worst of the worst get deported. But you don't want to do that. You want to make ICE have to go through the streets, door to door, finding these individuals who you are hiding. And again, and then you want to say that you're protecting democracy. You are undermining the Constitution of the United States. And every single one of your freaking cronies are doing the same when they're not stealing millions of dollars to give to our enemies. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Our tax dollars. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Let's see. People like Tim Walz and Chuck Schumer who ignored Ashli Babbitt are the real enemies of the people. Yes, indeed. Babbitt was shot from someone behind a closed door. I seen the video. The person opened the door and fired a gun. And Babbitt was behind the glass partition standing on someone when the gunman raised his arm forward. He was behind an office door like an assassin. Agreed. But did she risk her life to protest? Yes, she did. Sometimes you got to use your head, right? Sometimes you got to say, am I being set up? Is this a trap? And we know that J6 was a trap. This trap that was set today was a trap set for ICE agents. But if you're good, what I'm trying to say here, Kevin, if the leftists, they rose a whole memorial to the Capitol Police, who they said were heroes, and to the people that died due to J6, which it was nobody but Ashli Babbitt, but they never mentioned Ashli Babbitt's name because to them, she was a criminal. So if she's a criminal, then this woman who was killed today is a criminal, right? Because both were interfering in a government procedure, right? The interference for Babbitt was interfering in the election certification. Interference for today was interference in an ICE law enforcement action, right? So can we all agree? Both were interfering with an action. Babbitt was interfering. Good was interfering. Same. Both law enforcement officials thought for whatever reason that their lives were in danger. And so they shot. Babbitt died. Good died. The same. The only difference is Ashli Babbitt did not have a gun. Nobody who was protesting on J6 had any kind of weapon. Good had a 2-ton truck that was pointed at an officer, which she accelerated towards him. Did he get out of the way? Yes. Did he get out of the way at the same time he shot? Yes. Would I like to see that happen to either of these women? No. But that's what life has become since George Floyd. This is what protesting has become since George Floyd. So what I'm saying is, you can't have one be a martyr and the other be a criminal, neither for the law enforcement or for the victims. Politicians are already making campaign moves on this, especially donations. Of course they are. They chose the hard way instead of cooperating. That's true. And it's them that are putting the people's lives at stake, not Trump. You cannot have a sanctuary city. You cannot go against the Constitution as a state. You cannot have rules that are adverse to the United States Constitution. You can't. That's why we are the United States of America. If you want to secede from the United States, that's a different story. But you cannot have rules that are adverse to the Constitution. So a state cannot say, we are not letting federal authorities in to arrest criminal, illegal migrants. But they do it. Protecting democracy, in their view, means undermining the American people. It is not a truth. It's a slogan, Ramon. Protecting democracy is not a truth. It's a slogan. And now I'm really getting crazy because I see the politics in action and it's killing me. Would they be protesting if the ICE agent was run over? Absolutely not. They'd be cheering. And you know that. Absolutely, they'd be cheering. See, that's the whole thing, is that why are the 9/11 Capitol Police are good, ICE agents are bad. You don't get to cops who cooperate with ICE are bad. Cops who don't are good. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Thank you, Kevin. I'm all worked up. My blood pressure's got to be about 170 over 100, I swear. That lady who tried to run over an ICE officer is why an officer has to exercise deadly force. Yeah, you would think so. You would think so. But the leftists like Tim Walz, they speak out of both sides of their face. We already showed you, right? American against American. That's Walz and all those Democrats that are pitting American against American. Because if they all work together, the criminal illegal migrants would be gone, and there'd be no reason to have ICE in the streets. Right? That's number one. Number two, what was the other thing? He says he's appalled that the Trump administration was willing to stand behind their officers without even having an investigation, especially rogue officer. But he can call the officer rogue, right? So, it's hypocrisy at its worst. Double standards indeed, but when an abuse transpiring by legal enforcement officials committed without warning to those being arrested or shot needlessly. Sometimes those being arrested or shot are intense irritants. How can an error be avoided? You're right, especially when you put yourself in harm's way. And that's why I go back to J6. I mean, listen, you have to use your head. If you're working with power tools that could cut off a finger, you have to pay attention, know your surroundings, know what's going on, and be focused. If you're going to protest and express yourself and be in direct confrontation with people who have guns, especially when you are unarmed, you need to use your head. Like I said, they invited us in. I didn't go. My kids didn't go. Our friends didn't go. Babbitt went. Bad mistake, my opinion. This woman, when the cop said, open the door, because she was causing recklessness on the streets of Minnesota with this blockade. And I mean, if I could have downloaded the whole damn thing, I would have, and I probably will show it tomorrow, but go on my page. You can see it on my Facebook page, and you can see it on all my grams, all of my pages. It's there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You could see that they were taking turns blocking ICE with trucks while people were all over the street. Any weapon points at an officer, they will shoot. That's right, and they should. It's called a flip-flop. Yeah, well, I'm tired of these fish. That's what we're going to call them, fish. Stay calm. There's no staying calm. Nancy Pelosi belongs in prison. I got to tell you, I'm starting to these traitorous fish, they need to go. They need to go. We need to vote them out. And if the American people don't vote them out, I can't. All right, listen to this little clip from Walls.
He will make this about politics. This is about public safety, and this is about normalcy. To Americans who are watching this, if you're in Portland or you're in LA or you're in Chicago or you're wherever they're coming next, stand with us. Stand with us against this. This was so preventable, so unnecessary, and I don't know. I hope. Maybe we're at the McCarthy moment. Do you have no decency? Do you have no decency? We have someone dead in their car for no reason whatsoever.
Okay, no reason whatsoever. McCarthy moment. Do you have no decency? So he didn't have an investigation. So how does he know it was for no reason whatsoever? Right? But Trump and Noam coming to the defense of law enforcement is problematic. But him deciding that this woman died for no reason whatsoever is okay. What? No, I'm sorry. I'm sick of him. Okay, but here's the real kicker for Tim Walz. Listen to this one.
Enough is enough. And so to Minnesotans, don't take the bait. Do not take the bait. Do not allow them to deploy federal troops into here. Do not allow them to invoke the Insurrection Act. Do not allow them to declare martial law. Do not allow them to lie about the security and the decency of this state. And let's let this investigation play itself out. Let's make sure we protect our neighbors. I encourage you to use your First Amendment rights and all of your constitutional rights, but do so in a peaceful manner. We'll gather back with you as soon as we gather more information that needs to be put out. But again, stay safe, Minnesotans, and we'll be back with you.
All right. So he doesn't want to play politics, but he talks to Chicago, New York, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, whatever. And he invokes politics. He doesn't want anybody jumping to conclusions, but he knows what happened because he says so. He knows that it was a rogue officer. The woman died for no reason. So do you see what they do? They drop these little crumbs for the press to pick up. They speak in sound bites, so the press can pick it up, and so that people can believe that this was an unsubstantiated shooting, and that Donald Trump and ICE and the whole that this whole administration and all of us who voted for him are crazy, and they're the same ones. No, it is them that are putting Americans in jeopardy. They're putting Americans in jeopardy by harboring criminal illegal aliens. Let's get it straight. They're false and unconstitutional sanctuary cities are putting us all at risk, because you can drop a criminal illegal alien anywhere. They're not going to stay there. They're not pins. They're people. They're given driver's licenses, and some of them drive tractor trailers, and they drive off and they kill people. They rape women. They molest children. They kill. They murder. They sell drugs. Okay, so don't tell me that harboring criminal illegal aliens is doing the right thing. And anybody within the sound of my voice that believes that harboring criminal illegal aliens by calling yourself a fucking sanctuary state is by some means on the side of the angels, I've got to tell you something. You're out of your freaking mind, and you're a goddamn traitor, because you're putting us all in peril. The guy that's trying to clean up the mess that brainless Biden caused, because he had people who want to undermine America, people attached to China and communist countries running our country. No, just no. Donald Trump, ICE, law enforcement, they are trying to get this country back on track, because where we have been is on a quick slope downhill. And if you're not sure, take a look at England, take a look at the UK, and they will tell you. We all better go to work right now to make sure he keeps a majority in the House and in the Senate in 2026. Because if not, this kind of crap is going to continue to go on. And the legacy media is going to continue to lie to you. We work too hard. We work too hard to get Donald Trump back. We've got to keep the majority. We've got to keep him cleaning things up. Yeah, he may say things that are cringy. Yeah, he when he makes the decision, he goes with it. But that's what we all voted for. Let's see. I identify as a fisherman. Okay. Well, you got a lot of bait here. Let's fish out some of these illegal migrants. He's reading the script. Yes, he is. That's the whole thing. He's reading the script. Walls has no decency. No, he doesn't. Now he's acting like a king. Who, Walls or Donald? Take it out of context. Edit some pieces so can create a false narrative for the press to push propaganda. Absolutely. That's exactly what this is. It's like authoritarianism. We've been saying it. They say, oh, we have to protect democracy. But as soon as we try to protect democracy, they all do everything they can to stop protecting democracy. They tell so many lies and repeat it so often people begin to believe it. Yes, they do. So we have a job, and I'm over again. Our job is 2026. Okay, so let's everybody focus on 2026 midterm elections. Let's get this done. Let's keep the majority. And everyone, please share this show. Share all the things that I have posted, especially the videos. Because you know that YouTube and Meta, they're going to slow this stuff down. This B is when police shootings are justified. I don't like it when police kill citizens. I don't like it. I hate it. It's a bad look. But sometimes it has to happen. And sometimes it does. But, the citizens have responsibility too. It can't just be law enforcement. Everybody has a responsibility to keep yourself safe. For God's sakes. We're goddamn adults. Let's start acting like it. Sanctuary policies is sanctuary for criminals while putting American citizens under siege. Exactly. There's no such thing. This Constitution is for us. Our founding fathers died for it. And if you're not willing to stand up for it, and if you're one of those that want to undermine it, why don't you go to a country that already has communism and socialism and live there if that's what you want? These people want socialism. Go live in the country that has it. No, they want global socialism. As long as they can be in control. Fuck that. I am beyond. The legacy media needs to put out of business. Well, how are you going to do it? Ramon, the only way to do it is with shows like this. And when I'm only streaming to 50 people, which is what I'm doing tonight, how are we going to put them out of business? We need more conservative voices on air. How do you arrest or warn incoherent people in action or before final confrontation? Well, you can't. And that's another thing with the drugs. How do you know if people are coherent or not? I don't know. Walls to advise the No Kings protesters. Yeah. Good show and good night. Thank you. Most importantly, get involved and make differences for America. Yeah. I swear, I said to my husband today, get me some fatigues. I'm going to war. But if they attack, cops need to respond back. 100%. Listen, I'm going to say it again. I'm not faulting the ICE agent. And I'm not going to even fault the Capitol Police guy that shot through the door that killed Ashli Babbitt. I'm not, because she put herself in harm's way, knowing that could happen. I was with some people who were smart enough to wear bulletproof vests. They're available. Go buy them. But Ashli went in there and she didn't take precautions. I didn't go in there. I took precautions. People I was with took precautions. They didn't go in there. So if you know that you're going to go to a protest, you have to believe that at any time it could get out of hand. You have to protect yourself. You have to be ready for it. You have to do everything. What's the give me liberty or give me death? That's when you protest. That's what you're living. You're embodying that, right? You are fighting for your right to speak up and to challenge your government. But you have to recognize that just because you have a right to do it doesn't mean you're not going to wind up dead. Maybe not even from a police officer, but from somebody else, from mayhem, from a riot. Who knows? It all can happen. It all can happen. So you have to be smart. So I'm not going to give Ashli Babbitt's killer a no, and I'm not, I'm not going to get on him, and I'm not going to get on this ICE agent either. But like I said, Ashli Babbitt didn't have, she was unarmed. But I just don't like the double standard. I can't. I can't. This is why I continue to watch your show, because you also have a sense of humor on things. Maybe people who like socialism should enroll in socialism classes by socialism's best. Yeah. I saw something on social media the other day of a Venezuelan talking to some Mamdani voters and telling them what socialism was really all about. And what they said at the end was, oh yeah, but we know how to do it. The Venezuelans didn't know how to. Neither did the Cubans, neither did anybody else, because these young kids are the smartest people that ever walked the earth. Okay, we're really over. Love you all. Tomorrow I'm going to be on a plane, so there's going to be a show, but it's going to be what they call a premiere. So it's going to be pre-recorded, but we could talk together in the chat. Okay, love you all. Thank you. God bless. Please stay safe. Don't do anything foolish. All right, bye.